Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Game Shack, and in today's video we're going to be talking about and discussing all of the news and all of the reveals regarding the latest addition to the Assassin's Creed series with Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which has now been officially revealed. We now have a trailer and lots of details to talk about, so let's dive in. So yesterday there were some rumblings and rumours that perhaps the next Assassin's Creed game was set to be revealed, and that turned out to be true as we saw Ubisoft actually live stream through Boss Logic the reveal of the first official key art for the game, and this went on for about 8 or so hours. It was a very long live stream, and I've got to say this was a very cool way to reveal your game, like especially in today's times, given the fact obviously with the pandemic going on and things not being able to operate as per usual. I thought this was a really fun and creative way to actually just reveal your game in a way like this, because obviously if this was typical we probably would have gotten, you know, a bit more of like a reveal event sort of thing. Ubisoft probably would have done something a bit more special for it, but to kind of make the best out of the situation and really do this thing where you're giving someone like Boss Logic, who is incredibly talented, giving him the chance to like debut your game like this was really cool. And the first key art, which I'll pop up on the screen now, it's awesome. I love this. It just looks absolutely incredible. I love the two sides of the map there. They look awesome. And we found out now about, you know, we'll go into the details shortly, but we found out about the different areas in the game. That's kind of what this represents. Also, the main character there, Ivor, looks awesome. We did basically predict, like there were a lot of people predicting, and even just people who have been wanting for years, like a Vikings Assassin's Creed game, and that's exactly what this is, and we could see that from this character here. Like, this is obviously Vikings. So really cool stuff. I really enjoyed this opening key art, and when they announced the name Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I think that's a great title for the game. It just fits very well. It's a very Assassin's Creed sounding name. I believe Valhalla is supposed to be, I believe it's sort of the Norse heaven, I think that's what it is. I think that's what my friend told me. So it's a really good title, and that was also one of the leaked titles. Like the titles that were being thrown around were Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Kingdom was thrown around, as was Ragnarok. But I think Valhalla is the best one they could have gone with. I think Kingdom was probably the working title, and then Valhalla turned out to be the real title. So really cool stuff. I loved how they revealed it, and again, the title just works so well for this game. However, then it was announced at the end of the reveal event that we were going to be getting the first official trailer tomorrow, which is today, and we did get the trailer, and wow, this looks great. I was very impressed with this trailer. It just looks brilliant. Like, I love the sort of the naval exploration side of it, where we're obviously going to be using the Viking longboats to potentially travel to these different locations and to take them over and pillage and things like that, which I think obviously it's very much built around the idea of making this Viking lifestyle very very important throughout the game, like especially because Ashraf Ismail, who is going to be the creative director on this game, he has said specifically that this game is going to be all about making the best Viking experience possible while including Assassin's Creed elements. So you can kind of link that back to Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, which Ashraf Ismail was the game director on, because that game was very focused on giving you the best pirate experience while linking it into Assassin's Creed. This seems to be doing that same sort of idea and that same sort of mindset, but doing it with Vikings. So this trailer definitely portrays that, I think, and I just think graphically this game looks awesome. The combat looks heavy, it looks brutal, it looks violent. We can also see Odin there, of course, we see him there, and then we have the crow, which the crow is a sort of symbol of Odin. It's kind of what Norse... in Norse mythology, it's kind of believed that he becomes a crow or something along those lines. I'm not super familiar with Norse mythology. I'm just going off what my friends told me, to be honest. But who's very much into Norse mythology. But very cool stuff. And again, I think this trailer, it does show very much what the direction is for this game. I think they are going for a very grounded, very gritty, very dark Assassin's Creed. We haven't had an Assassin's Creed of this kind of level in a while. I think that's kind of what they're going for there. I think they are really going for like a sense of darkness to it, which I think works for this, you know, this era and this time period and this, you know, the Vikings setting. I think it works very well for that. So I think it's going to be a really iconic setting for Assassin's Creed, and I think that this is going to be one that the fans are really going to get behind, and one that the community is really going to want to explore and really get lost in, and this trailer really just has that throughout. And also, I've seen a lot of people speculating about this, but obviously this trailer does have a lot of Microsoft marketing throughout it. Microsoft and Xbox do actually have the marketing rights for Valhalla, so they are going to be plastering the logos all over it and stuff like that, which is why you had an Xbox logo at the beginning of the trailer, and also why it says Xbox One and Xbox Series X at the end. This isn't like an Xbox exclusive or anything. This is it's just they have the marketing rights for the game. So I've just seen a few questions about that. And that does lead me into another thing which I saw, which I'm just going to add in here. Ubisoft have actually said that they are going to be debuting the first gameplay trailer for Assassin's Creed Valhalla in the upcoming Xbox Series X event that Microsoft are doing next week on the 7th of May. Microsoft are doing a Series X event where they're going to be showing off a bunch of new games and showing off the console properly and things like that, like really doing like a proper reveal event for the console. And Ubisoft have said that Assassin's Creed Valhalla will be debuting its gameplay trailer there, so you can look forward to that. So you can actually see truly how this game looks in gameplay as aside to just the cinematics that we saw today. So I'm just going to run through some details about Assassin's Creed Valhalla that we've learned since the trailer has dropped. The hero's name is going to be Ivor, and you can basically play as either a male version of Ivor or a female version of Ivor, so this is very similar to Assassin's Creed Odyssey where you had Alexios and Cassandra, but in this case the main hero of the game has the same name, so if you're the male version of the character or the female version of the character, you will have the same name, so it's essentially just the same character. It just depends on which gender you want to play. It's going to be focused on building your Viking settlement, and it's going to be featuring locations such as Scandinavia, Norway, and also Britain, although it does say specifically that the game will mostly take place within Britain, and the trailer does kind of hint towards that as well. Gear is going to be customizable. Gear is going to be a big focus in this game, and it's going to allow you to also customize beards and tattoos, which is really cool. I think that's going to add a bit more customization. I think customization in Assassin's Creed is important, especially for a game like this, because obviously you are going to be playing a character who is basically, you know, you can play as two different characters essentially, but they have the same name, so you kind of want to make it distinguishable, you kind of want to make it your own, and I think that this, you know, allowing you to customize beards and tattoos, we've never really had that level of customization before in Assassin's Creed, so I think that's really exciting. The Raven is going to be your animal companion, so, you know, kind of like in Odyssey and in Origins, where we had like a bird companion that allowed you to like scout out the locations and things like that, seems to be the same here. We're going to have that instead, which again also makes a lot of sense. I think that the Raven or the Crow, whatever it is, I think it just makes sense to kind of go with that. So I think that this all sounds super exciting so far, and there is some more details as well. As well as customizing tattoos and beards, you can also customize war paint and your Viking longboat, so you're going to have a customizable boat. I think the boat and the naval combat is going to be a lot more in line with what we saw in Odyssey. It's not going to be like Black Flag or Rogue, where you had like your own pirate ship and you can board ships and all that. It's not going to be like that. I think it's going to be a lot more in line with something like Odyssey, where you just have these sort of minor ship battles throughout the games. Present day is apparently going to be playable, which obviously the present day always has some big impact in Assassin's Creed, but it hasn't been playable for a while, so we're going to see that return, which is good. Let's see what else we got here. There's going to be RPG elements, which kind of goes back to building up the settlement. Apparently, based on what Ashraf Ismail has said, apparently the RPG elements aren't going to be in the same level that they were in Odyssey. It sounds like they are going to be scaling it back a little bit, possibly going back to the sort of style it was in Origins, which I'd be more happy with, because Odyssey was a bit too much of an RPG for me. Like, I wasn't a big fan of Odyssey. I felt like that game went a bit too far down the RPG route, whereas Origins kind of hit that happy middle. So I think if they're going back to that Origins kind of style, I think that would work much better for me personally. And also I did read as well from Ashraf Ismail, he was talking about sort of the leveling system in the game. It sounds to me, based on what he said, I could be wrong here, but it sounds to me, the way I interpreted it, that it's going to be a bit like Skyrim, so you're going to be able to level up depending on how you play the game. So depending on what you want to do with the game and how you want to play it, how you want to approach different situations, if you play a game a certain way, you'll level up in that way. So I think it's going to be a bit like Skyrim, which I think works very well. Also, decisions you make have consequences to your Viking settlement, story, and romances. So there's going to be decisions to make, just like there was, and I think that also means like conversations and things like that, like we did see in Odyssey. So that's going to be returning as well, and it's going to affect some characters. Given the fact that it says, you know, it'll affect the settlement, the story, and the romances, hopefully that means that there's going to be some actual good character work in Valhalla, which I think will affect all that stuff, which is cool. And you'll also be able to explore both on land and water, including raids and military ships. So there's a lot of different gameplay options going on here. You can explore both land and water. I'm wondering if all these different areas that are in the game, like Scandinavia and Norway and Britain, if they're going to be completely on the same map, so you can explore them all. You can just travel to them by boat. I mean, I don't know if they'll be able to do that, just because I guess that wouldn't be completely realistic, but it can still be pretty interesting if they kind of all include it in one map, especially because this is going to be on next gen as well. That's like the final detail here. This game is going to be releasing holiday 2020, and it will be coming out on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and Google Stadia. So that's all the consoles there. So yeah, I mean, this game is going to be on last gen and next gen as well, which, I mean, you could look at that as a positive or a negative, really. Like, it's a good thing in some way for people who aren't going to jump onto the new consoles immediately. There are going to be those people who are going to hold off for a couple of years, or, you know, just might not be able to get the consoles when they come out and things like that, so they can still play the game on their current systems. But then at the same time, you do have to think about the fact that this game would have to have been scaled back in order to accommodate for the older, less powerful machines. But then at the same time, there is also a detail we learned a while ago, which is that there are actually 15 Ubisoft studios working on this game, apparently. Apparently there have been 15 studios all sort of working together to create Valhalla, and you couldn't interpret that in a way where, you know, this game was so big that they needed that many studios, or it could be a thing where perhaps half of those studios were working on the next gen version and the other half of those studios were working on the last gen version to bring it to last gen. We don't quite know how it's going to go down, and again, that might not even be true. That was just a rumor I heard. But it's still very interesting to see, and it's still exciting that, you know, PS4 and Xbox One players are still going to be able to get this game, and then if you are going to be getting one of the new machines, be it the PS5 or the Series X, you'll be able to pick it up on there as well. So it's very, very exciting news overall, and all these details coming together get me very, very excited about Valhalla, because I think this could be the Assassin's Creed game that's really going to bring the community back together. It's been quite split recently, especially with Odyssey. Like, I think you either like Odyssey or you don't. I don't think there's anybody who's really in between on Odyssey. I particularly wasn't a big fan of Odyssey, but I know, for example, my best friend, who's also a big Assassin's Creed fan like myself, she adores Odyssey. So it's kind of like, it just depends. It really depends on the person. But I think that Valhalla could really be the game to bring people back together, especially with the creative team behind it. Like, say, Ashraf Ismail coming back to really be the creative force on this, I think is a really smart decision, because obviously he did Black Flag, which is definitely my favourite in the series, and again, a real fan favourite, as is Origins. So I think that it could be a really good thing to get the community back together behind Valhalla, and we can all just come back together and enjoy this game. So it seems really exciting so far. You know, what are you guys thinking about it? Whatever you think, let me know in the comments below. Did you like the trailer? Are you excited about it? Or are you still a bit shaky on the Assassin's Creed series at the moment? Whatever you think, let me know in the comments down below. And as always, guys, if you want to see more videos like this and more gaming content, be sure to subscribe to The Game Shack, and hope to see you guys again next time.